Yeah, coming to you live all the way from Brooklyn. Boy.
Hello, and thank you for choosing to tune back into As Told by Aquarius, the podcast where I realize I don't care about ankles like that. It's actually me more having an issue with what other people choose to do and choose not to do with their ankles. Yep, it's me, your host, Aquarius, birthday January 25th, and the words of wisdom from the universe read: if there is something you left incomplete, something that you should have finished a long time ago, expect to be hounded until you get your act together and get it done. Saturn in your sign warns that there are no more hiding places. Get cracking now. And yes, this extremely relates to my life because I have the tendency to want to learn how to do everything and add 80 million new skills to my repertoire. So I have too many undone and fully incomplete projects. But me and procrastination are friends, and like we don't see a breakup anytime soon. So like there it is. What I wanted to talk to you about today is the notion that Aquariuses are rebels. I don't like it. I really don't like it. And I feel like people have been throwing that word around with us too much. Like, Aquariuses are rebels. No, we're actually not. Personally, this is my view, obviously. We're not rebels. We just like to try a lot of shit. And some of that shit is not the typical conventional shit that other people be trying to do, which comes off as we're being rebels and going against the grain when we just want to explore all that life has to offer. And on top of that, while exploring to do so, we get facts and tidbits about certain situations in which we experience. So then when we go into a situation where we need to have a debate or have an argument, we can prove points because we have lived said experience. Yeah, that's it. Honestly, that's really it. And because I like to think the Aquarius mind processes things a lot faster than most, we'll go into situations that seem extremely dangerous, extremely rebellious, extremely unconventional, or just plain ass weird. Cool as a cucumber because we've already processed the pros, the cons. Will I get killed? How I'm going to probably get killed? How can I prevent myself from being killed? And will I end up as the ninja warrior of this situation? For example, a story that I like to tell is my adventure through Thailand. I went to Thailand a couple years ago, and unbeknownst to me that there was a whole entire African community living there. Would I have just naturally known that? No. Is that something that people speak about when they talk about Thailand? Hell no. But I know it exists. So if I just randomly say that in conversation and someone tells me no, you're stupid and you're wrong. Why? Because I have physically experienced the African community living in Thailand. How this story started? I'll give you the short version. Met a guy at a bar. Last night in Thailand, I wanted to go hard and then eventually, go home. So I stayed up all the way till 2 a.m. at this bar, drinking beers, having fun, chatting with some locals who were there. Best time ever. Because I didn't go to a club while I was there, he offered to take me to a club. So we attempted to go to the club. Club was about to close. Then he was like, well, I know of a lounge. It's kind of a little tiny, but it'll give you the club vibe that you wanted. In the process of going there, we start to see more black people. Way more black people than I expected to see and that I saw during my whole entire almost 2 weeks there, all in this one ass night. We get there, takes me to a building. Extremely fucking sketchy. There was only one way in this building and only one way out. I mean, technically it was 2 ways out, but like I didn't know that in the process of getting in the elevator. The elevator only held 9 people at a time. This building, I was told, had 3 floors, and each floor was individually segregated, not purposely, but it just happened to be that way. That one floor, there were mainly Thais. The other floor, there were mainly Indians, and the other floor was mainly Africans. When I walked into that lounge, it looked like a lounge somewhere in Brooklyn that just played nothing but Afro beats and soca. There were a few Thai people sprinkled around in there, but majority of the occupancy were African people. And I happen to probably be one of the only African American people in there, because when the person that I was with decided to go to the bathroom, I had at least 3 or 4 guys come to me and ask me, hey, where you from? You know this guy? That's cool. How do you know him? Where do you live? Rata, rata, rata. You know, the typical touristy questions. But it was my surprise that I even got approached in that manner, because he said, when he came back from the bathroom, that mainly everybody in there knows each other because they always go to this particular lounge, and majority of everybody is from Africa. Now, this was one of the most entertaining and eye-opening experiences for me, because I would have never thought that there was a whole African community in Thailand. Like, that's nothing anybody ever mentions. Even for me knowing other people who happen to be African going to Thailand, that is nothing that they ever mentioned. So it was surprising to me, and also awesome as fuck. Now, here's where the whole roundabout rebel thing comes into for most people's minds. Now, girl, you mean to tell me that you just followed this random stranger that you met in this bar for the first time in your life on the other side of another community in another country where you do not speak the native tongue? So if anything hypothetically happened to you, you probably couldn't even properly ask for help. And you just was like happy-go-lucky with it? Yeah, because I thought about all the pros and cons while I washed my hands in the bathroom from peeing out the weak beer that I was served. Did I think about all of that? Yes. I had my P's and Q's. I sent my location to multiple people, even though we were not in the same country. I thought about ways to get out of said cab. I thought about ways to get out of said club. I thought about a bunch of shit in a very small amount of time, in the sense of, do you want to take this risk? And the answer was YOLO. But would you consider me a rebel? No, some of you probably consider me stupid and wanderlustful. However, that is an experience that I lived through that I now am able to tell to you and many other people who ask me, or like many other people who don't ask me, and I still like to share that story. Now, would I call that rebellious? No. Wanderlust? Yes. Adventurous? Yes. Free-spirited? Yes. But I want to take away the word rebel from the narrative of Aquarius. Specifically because I don't agree with it, and we are all rebels in our own right. Not just Aquarius, but everyone. I'm pretty sure you've broken a rule. You stole some shit you wasn't supposed to. You done hit your little brother, sister, and or cousin in the back of the head just for the fun of it. You, my friend, there were being a rebel, and nobody judged you for it. Nobody always said that you're a rebel because you hit your cousin in the back of the head. You're a rebel because you decided to jaywalk across the street. You're a rebel because you chose not to pay that summons on time and then got a warrant for your arrest and you had to go to court. See, nobody ever said you was a rebel for that. Like, they didn't. So from all that, I leave you with this. Are just Aquarius rebels? No. Everyone is a rebel, because at some point, in some way, shape, or form, we have all went against the grain and broken a rule. And by those standards, we will be all considered a rebel. And sometimes you gotta be a rebel, because that's how you get shit done. Hope you enjoyed this. Check me out somewhere, somehow. Peace.